going to go ahead and get started this morning. Welcome everyone. My name is Brandon Knight. I'm the CFO and Assistant City Administrator here for the City of Davenport. This is our March 15th update media briefing here for the flood events that were anticipated for this weekend on the Mississippi River. I do want to just emphasize that we will have ongoing media briefings as necessary to provide updates as far as how the city's flood response is going. I do want to introduce a couple of people today. We have Clay Merritt. He's our capital manager. He'll be providing the update. We have Ron Hawker. He's our public works operation manager. His team is in charge of providing response to the flood. And we have Brian Shadd. He's our city engineer. As we get started this morning, again, just want to emphasize that the city has a great response plan to flooding events. And that although this is something that we do regularly, it's something that we take very seriously. So I'll go ahead and turn the time over now to Clay Merritt.
Thank you, Brandon. So as you're all aware, the Mississippi River has been rising over the past few days and will continue to do so until around Sunday. What you can kind of see to my right here is National Weather Service puts out a hydraulic graph so you can kind of see and gauge what the river levels are for the Mississippi River. So right now we are at 15 feet. It just updated a few moments ago. And then you can kind of see as in Sunday and then into the weekend, we're going to hit about 18.4 feet. So what we want to talk to you a little bit about today is, or one of the main reasons of coming here is this event is happening alongside the St. Patrick's Day activities and festivities that we're having in our downtown area. What we want the public to know is that this flood event will not impact the parade. It will not impact the race. It will not impact the other planned events down there. However, it will make traveling in the downtown a little bit more trickier because there's some additional detours and road closures that comes along with floods. But once again, it's not going to impact the festivities. There is going to be some riverfront parking is going to be unavailable. So the city is making our 3 parking ramps accessible to the public on Saturday between 8 and 4. That will be free to the public since those riverfront parking spots will not be available. So as we go through, if we can, I'm sorry, the detour map. So yesterday, the city staff put out this map throughout all of our communication platforms. We'll continue to broadcast this throughout today and into the weekend so that you all in the media and then our residents and our visitors can kind of see what's going on downtown. I'll just point out some specifics of it. As you can see, some things are more have a more definitive timeline. So you see River Drive. Let's see where I use this right here. So River Drive is closed starting today. These portions will be closed, but some of this on this map is more temporary in nature. 3rd Street, for example. So you see there's a note on here that it's periodic lane closure starting Saturday from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Once the activities have concluded, city staff will then start working to take down all of the barricades and posted signs so vehicular traffic can continue to flow through the downtown. On here also to point out that while that is going on, there's some truck detour routes. For instance, if you're coming from the west side of town and you're looking to go north or east, you would take River Drive or Rockingham up to Division, for instance. But then once 3rd Street is then open, and that'll be available. So as we go through, I just want to show this, and once again, please be aware of all the various road closures and lane reductions throughout the downtown area. So as we start talking about road closures, there's an additional road closure going on. It's on South Concord between Utah and River Drive. That will be closed. It's actually closed now. If anyone is looking to access the compost facility, you can still access it. You'll just have to take Rockingham over to Highway 22 to Wapello, and then Wapello to Railroad Avenue. So our compost facility will be open next week while South Concord is closed. Starting today, Credit Island will be barricaded off as river levels start coming up on the causeway. And we'll show you some pictures a little bit of what that looks like a little later on. As we continue down the riverfront in terms of facilities or city facilities, the River's Edge, the Freight House Farmers Market, Union Station will all remain open for business. And they can still be accessed by the public during this flood event. So we want to make sure that that is known. Modern Woodmen Park which you can see in this little nice map. The flood walls, so we have flood protection panels that have been installed yesterday that are up right now that are going around the facility, and we'll show you some actual photos of what that looks like as we go through. The recreational trail along the riverfront and large portions of that trail, it will be closed because as the water begins to come up, it will then come onto the trail. So for safety purposes, we've closed that. We'll be closing that periodically. And while there are many activities happening this weekend along the riverfront, we want everyone to know that floodwaters are hazardous. So please make sure that you don't try and drink, play, walk, wade, bike, or drive through these floodwaters. Just make sure that that is hazardous and to not do those things. And that's for both your safety and for the safety of others as well. While all of this is going on, we want to make sure that the public knows that normal city operations will continue. For instance, here at Public Works, while our staff is currently setting up a lot of the flood measures, and we'll discuss what those flood measures are in just a moment, and then maintain those throughout next week, we are also continuing doing pothole tasks throughout the city. We have multiple crews out both today and into next week, continuing those activities while we also work on this as well. So in the end, we really want to make sure to emphasize to everyone that while this event is happening, that it is not going to impact the St. Patrick's Day festivities that are happening in our downtown. We ask for everyone to please be patient while they're traveling in the downtown because of the additional detours and road closures. Please make sure to obey all the barricades and posted signs as we go through as you go through them. Once again, that's just for not only your safety but for the safety of others as well. And before we start doing a questioning and answering session, kind of want to show some information and some tools we have that may be helpful for anyone listening at home or for anyone here in the media. First off, on our website, we have several flood related things. One of which is our inundation map. So this is a great tool that we use for planning purposes. What you're looking at here is strictly due to elevation levels. So this does not take into account the various flood measures we put in place or buildings that are around it. It just simply says when the river comes up, what would it naturally do if there's nothing in its path? So right now you can see this is what an 18-foot flood would look like currently. And to kind of also give some perspective, last October we actually experienced a flood about 18.1. So almost very close to what's projected at now. And we'll show you kind of what that looks like from actuals versus like a planning model. So you can find this on our website. You can also go to cityofdavenport.com /flood, and then you can access all of this wealth of information both on event statuses that you can click on. You can go to, and we have links to the National Weather Service, so you can then look at those prediction models and their probability charts for future. You can go through here, and then this is where you can find the flood inundation map, so you can look. What does it look like from a planning perspective at 17 feet, at 18 feet, 19, 20, 21, and so on and so on. Gives you kind of a good idea of what's going on. Next, as we go through, we are always, hopefully everyone goes through Davenport Direct. This is where when we provide flood, whether flood or any type of event, that we can reach out to someone directly and you can get our information directly from us at the city. We always encourage everyone to please sign up and allow us to be able to reach out and provide those notifications to you. Also, this will have some operational things for our city bus. So as we make route changes throughout, you can we always go straight to our city website, and we whenever there's changes, we always communicate that through our various platforms. But our website also has that information that you can then go and look at it yourself as well. So as we go through, Robin, let's first, before looking at some photos, we're going to talk about our various flood measures. So we've been tracking, so staff has been tracking this for some time, and we have a pretty extensive and exhaustive flood plan. So as we hit various river levels, as it goes up, it enacts different parts of our plan. I think it was handed out to you. There's a sheet that was provided by Jennifer that actually says that here are some of the main milestones that when we hit that 17-foot flood level or 19, here's various things that occur we handed that out, and once again, that's something you can probably find on our website. But as we go through, one of our main things that we've been doing is a HESCO barrier wall. So you'll notice, like right now, and earlier this morning, what we've done is our staff is putting up this HESCO barrier wall between, I believe, on River Drive between Perry and Iowa. And what it is, if I can go to the side here for a second. So this is a very good model of what this is. So it's a collapsible thing with it's hollow in the middle. So we set these up along the river. And here's a good actual photo of what they are. And then sand is put in the middle of them to keep them down. And so as you can see on the next few photos of what we have, you can see the HESCO barrier walls. We have several pumps in strategic locations. That's where the line that you see running out through here. Oh, excuse me, I have a pointer. So in any case anyone ever sees this, it's very much like a fire hose. Please don't run it over. You shouldn't be in this area anyway, but if you do, for safety purposes, is you can put those in. We have sandbags available. We also have Modern Women Park kind of going into, so here, yes, here's the flood wall. So if you haven't seen this before, it's incredibly interesting and innovative that we do. So normally you'll see the columns as you walk into the games and you just think nothing of it. They're aesthetic, for aesthetic purposes. They actually have interlinking walls, panels that we put in. So we have this ready to go, and so when the flood waters start coming up, we actually start inserting these panels. So at some point, and we'll see in a few moments, the water could encircle the ballpark, and the ballpark remains clean. So these are some of the photos that were from last fall's flood, that once again was at a 18.1 foot, so comparable of what we're looking to experience. This is Credit Island, so specifically Credit Island Lodge. When we rebuilt that facility, we actually had vents on the ground level. Excuse me, they had vents on the ground level that we open up, allows the water into the facility and then flow out of the facility and keeps the building pressurized. And so when the waters do recede, we go through, clean the floor up, you spray it down, and it's good to go. So that's one of the interesting things. So you'll see this right here, what you're looking at is River Heritage Park during last year's flood. This is the Sky Bridge, Dillon Fountain, right in where we have Main Street Landing and LeClaire Park meet up. Here's LeClaire Park, what it'll look like, and along River Drive. Here's another good aerial of what the flood protection walls look at for Modern Women Park and how they segment everything off, segment the park off from river water. Here's one of Centennial Park and the skate park, along with River Drive, sections of River Drive. Another image of Centennial Park. Another one, this is the DOLA dog off-leash area at Centennial. The Marquette Street boat ramp. The boat ramps themselves have been removed. I believe they were removed yesterday. But as you can see, water gets in there, or gets up to that point. Another shot of Credit Island Lodge and Credit Island Playgrounds. And then once again, here's the flood protection walls at Modern Women. As we go through, just once again, just want to emphasize, as we gear up and go through this flood event, it's not going to affect the festivities in the downtown. And with that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If not, we have our team here that can answer as well.
I've got a question. You're saying 18 and then 18.4 early next week.
Yes.
Do you have an estimate as to when the ultimate crest for the spring will be?
We do not. The National Weather Service has not put out that hydraulic graph yet. So what we have is some probability charts that they put out. Those every day are fluctuating. And so with no certainty, we don't have those at this time. What we can say is it looking like that 18.4 this weekend is looking pretty accurate. It's been tracking the last few days. It's been about 18.2. Yesterday it dropped to 18.1. Today it's up to 18.4. So that's looking pretty stable in terms of predictions.
Does the river seem to be going up faster than in past years? Do you have an idea that usually the Mississippi is really slow compared to the Rock and all the others, but this year it seems much quicker?
Normally it's a much slower progression, as you can kind of see from this chart. It's kind of risen pretty quickly. I don't necessarily know if anyone else about how that seems to be generally the case, is it's more of a slow progression than a rapid one. Anyone have any other questions?
You said St. Patrick's Day stuff wasn't gonna be affected, right?
Correct. So there's no direct impact to the race, to the parade, or the other festivities that are happening. I would want to emphasize again, because of some of the limited parking alongside the riverfront that will be inaccessible, that we are opening up the city's 3 parking ramps for everyone on Saturday between 8 and 4.
The flood measures that you're taking on River Drive and some of the others, are they for, what level are they for? I mean, are they for a level that might be 21 or 22, or are you just planning on 8 and 19 or so now, or what?
The current HESCOs that are set up along with the requisite detours are set up probably up to about, say 21 feet at the moment, which is well in advance of what we're expecting to see.
Or what you're expecting now?
Or we're expecting it to. From what the National Weather Service is predicting, yes. Okay, all right, well, thank y'all very much.